Coach, congratulations. Would you start us off with an opening comment,
Yeah,
please?
just say it feels good. I mean, we've although we're 4-4, it's not like we're 1-7. You know, we hadn't really left the game feeling like we played well in a while. So it was a good feeling in the locker room, and thought we played the game the right way, defended well, and it feels good to come out on one where we kind of had control of it the whole game.
Coach, Taylor talked a little bit about you guys having kind of an identity meeting, is what you called it. But how important was it? You know, you talk about feeling good after the win, to kind of bounce back from the IUPUI loss and develop whatever that identity is.
It's really important. You know, we really important. You know, we have to be a team that thrives off our defense, and that was one of my points. Is we've had a lot of the times in the game, the losses, we've started to struggle offensively, and it's that frustration has led to a lot of bleeding. I mean, we're up 53-39 in the IUPUI game. We couldn't get a stop in the last 10 minutes, and we couldn't stop them from scoring. They scored 34 points or something in 10 minutes. I mean, it's like a 120-point game. I mean, it's incredible. And my point to them was, you just look at all the efficiency numbers out there. This is before this game. We're better on offense this year than we were last year. That's not where our problems is. That's where the frustration falls for us. But that's to think that if we have, I mean, believe me, I want to get better on both sides of the ball, and we all know we're turning the ball over too much. But statistically speaking, we're significantly better right now in offense than we were a year ago. The problem lies in our defense. You know, last year we were one of the premier mid-major teams in college basketball on the defensive end, so we could beat you, you know, like we beat Toledo 86-60-71 or whatever it would have been, but we could beat you 55-52 too if we had to. You know, I mean, we could win that way. We could win both ways. You know, we won 5 or 6 games where we wouldn't have scored more than 63 points a year ago, and we couldn't do that right now. And still don't think we could. You know, and that's the part of the game that my point to them is we have to be able to win the games when everything's clicking on offense, but we got to be good enough on defense where we win some of those games too. Otherwise, we're going to be 500 all year.
They seem to be energized today. Did you notice that from the start, that there was a different feel to the way they played, or different energy?
I thought they you know, we were all, I think, embarrassed by the unraveling in the IUPUI game, and we had a couple real heart-to-heart meetings that our enthusiasm and our camaraderie and our chemistry was better today, and that's a good lesson for us. But it's a long season, you know. It can't be one game and then it goes away. You know, we have to stay committed to that part of the game. It's important.
Was this the grittiness you were looking for?
Yeah, a little bit. We were certainly grittier today. You know, our defense, we're giving up 29 points in the first half. We're giving up 41 points in the second half. We didn't really have any moments because we scored pretty consistently all game. We didn't have any of those moments where the game started to kind of get away from us that we had to be able to fight through. And that's the part that we have to be able to do. Today, when they went on a run, we just scored. We just were able to score a lot. But we have to be able to manage that frustration in the game and not unravel on the defensive end. That's, to me, a real big challenge for us in the next
Are you locked into
few
this
weeks.
starting group that you've got now, or are you anticipating changes, giving some of these there are a couple other players that are
we'll see.
exceeding probably your expectations?
It's always up in the air. You know, Francis didn't start tonight, not because of any other reason other than his foot was bugging him. But I'm going to start the 5 guys that I feel like give our team the best chance to win. And so I think it could be different every game.
Is that foot injury just a nagging kind of thing?
That's what we think, yeah. It's not, I mean, he actually was going to play tonight, and then he tweaked it, and somebody stepped on his foot 3 or 4 minutes in. It's not a break. It's not anything like that. It's not something we anticipate being long-term. It's just a matter of how quickly the pain goes away.
Talk about still wanting to clean some things up offensively. Were you pleased with the pace tonight, though?
Yeah, I was pleased with the pace. I was disappointed in the turnovers in the first half. But it helped that they tried to play fast, too. But we're better when we play fast. So, yeah, I thought the pace in the first half was good. I thought the pace in the second half for us wasn't as good, which was partially on us. We weren't getting the ball out of the net quick, and it was partially because we stopped getting stops.
Bradley didn't have a lead all night. Was that more so of your offense or your defense?
I'd say it's a blend. You know, if I look at, they scored 63 points on 74 possessions, which is pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. And we scored 65. 80 points on 74 possessions, which is off the charts. You know, so our offensive numbers for today's game, this will be our most efficient offensive game of the year, statistically speaking. If you score over 1 point per possession in a game, then you're gonna, if you can't win that game, you really can't guard. But I thought both of them were pretty good. That's why the 17-point win.
You talked about kind of having a shortage of bodies this season.
Mhm.
With the energy we saw tonight and the shortage of bodies, how do you sustain that energy that you guys played with tonight?
You know, we need more bodies, I know that, because for starters, it's hard to practice the way you want to. And, you know, I don't think the energy that we had today had as much to do with that as it did to do with their own looking in the mirror, the kind of the meetings that we had and that they had with each other and their kind of enthusiasm and camaraderie with each other. I think that was the reason why we had good energy, much more so than any sub-rotation that we had.
Had a jump up in free throw shooting tonight, and Trey was a big part of that, going 7 for 8. So, you know, how big is that for you guys, just to kind of have those points at the line, and also specifically with Trey again?
I think I'll just deal with Trey. 'Cause I thought it was really big for Trey because he's such a better free throw shooter than he showed. And I told someone right before the IUPUI game, I thought Trey was getting ready to break out from the free throw line. And they must have thought I was nuts, you know, after the IUPUI game. But it's, you know, it's really good for him because it's, you know, we need, he gets fouled a lot. We need those points. He's more than capable of shooting, you know, 65, 70% from the line in his time here. And he should at least be in the 60s right now based on the numbers he consistently shoots. But, you know, when you miss him enough, it becomes mental. You can make them all you want, and you get to the line, and you kind of need that moment to break through. You know, it's great for everybody.
So that 5 for 17 to start the year for him at the line, that was mental more than anything?
Yes.
It wasn't a physical?
Yeah. He could take you out there right
mechanical
now,
thing?
and no, he'll make 75 out of 100. We tweaked his mechanics in the offseason, and but he's more than capable as a free throw shooter right now. That was just mental. It's not like he's the best, great free throw shooter. I don't want to paint that picture. But to act like he's a 35 or 40% free throw shooter, that's not consistent with what you would see in watching him shoot. It's not even close to consistent.
Yeah, 17 and 9 tonight. I think over the last 5 games coming in, he was averaging like 11 rebounds. So I think quietly he's been pretty good this year. How is he better this year than he was a year ago?
He's better in every category. You know, he really started out the year in bangbusters in practice for 4 weeks, and he struggled in our first few games. And but he's better low post scorer. He's more experienced. He's more athletic. And you watch him jump now and get some dunks now that he could have never got a year ago. And he's better in every category. He's really developing well. And, you know, you forget he just turned 19. You know, 2 months ago. And 18 months ago he was 275 pounds. You know, he's still just scratching the surface, I think, of who he can be. And I thought he and Tajay and Franco, I thought all 3 of them were terrific tonight.
So is there anything else you can do, this team can do to bring more excitement to this program, bring more fans here? Get
Well, we
this
gotta
team
win.
up to where it was years ago?
We're working hard to get there, but we got to win. You know, the fans have been great. And I couldn't be more thankful for their support early in the year. You know, when you lose a game like IUPUI, that hurts your fan base. I mean, it does. And that's no disrespect to IUPUI, but, you know, we got to hold up our end of the bargain. And I thought the students have done a great job this year, and we will. You know, it's a long year. We have a lot of time still in front of us, and I told you guys a little bit about, you know, we're 4 or 5 weeks away from being a good team. But I do think 4 or 5 weeks from now we can be a good team, and if we can do that, then I'm confident they'll keep coming.
We saw a decent amount of Caleb tonight when Francis went down. Why do you trust him enough to throw him in there?
Well, it was either Caleb or Coach Grunkemeyer, because they wouldn't let me play Coach Grunkemeyer. I went with Caleb. No, Caleb's like one of the biggest winners I've ever been around. He's capable of playing in that role, and he did a great job. He's one of the most impressive young men I've ever coached. Like, he's a complete winner, and pays his own way to school, does everything everybody else asks, gets none of the benefits of being an athlete, and does all the work of being an athlete, and pays his own tuition. I mean, he's like a complete stud, so I was happy, and we needed him tonight.
Coach, we talked about pace, turnovers, several pieces of the offense. You shoot 58%, and we've seen several games here recently where you've been kind of over that 50% mark. Where do you think you'll settle as far as maybe an average shooting percentage?
I don't know, because, part of our shooting percentage is high, but our turnovers are high, and I'd settle for that shooting percentage coming down and turnovers going down. What I care about is efficiency. And points per possession at the end of the day is the ultimate test for where you are. But I don't have an answer to that. The only thing I will tell you is that I know if we get our turnovers down, that's the biggest hurdle that we have to get to make our offense better, is turn the ball over less and get more shots on the rim. That's the thing that we're most focused on.
Does it still seem like, several of the turnovers look like they can be fixed pretty
Yeah, we had a lot of unfortunate ones. We had Tajay an illegal screen. We ran an out of bounds play that Franco would have had a dunk on, but he happened to step out of bounds on a play. We had a few. We had Dudu wide open on a transition, and he lost the pass. We had a couple that was good basketball. It's an inch away from that I just saw him creeping up, and I think we had another offensive foul if I remember right. But in the second half we had 4, which is great. That's the part that we got to keep the turnovers. We're not going to be at 7, but we should be at, if we can get to 12 or 13 or 14 a game, that'll really help us.
Anything else? All right, Coach, thanks so much.
All right, thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
you coming up.
Yep,
Good
appreciate
luck
it.
Saturday.
See you.
Gronk would probably still stand at the three-point line.
He would do
Shots,
that.
though, couldn't
He would do that for sure. Anybody else need a full book? All right, that's good.